Okay, here we are back in the house in Fata Morgana. Requiem for Innocence. And you can go backstage, you can go to the art gallery, you can go to the concert hall. I don't really know if I should push anything here because that's just going to cause a copyright flag. But you can see the list of songs here. There is a second page and a third page, apparently. So there are some that are going to be recycled from the first game. Wow, it goes all the way up to 4? Yep, 4. So some are going to be recycled from the first game, and if you want to listen to them, you can. I don't know if all the ones from the first game are here. I'm not that much of a music buff, but I did hear some familiar tracks. As for the art gallery, we should be missing some still. Some more macabre than others. So we have some missing ones. Where could those possibly be? If only there was like one section where there would be a little bit more. Let's go see what we can find backstage, shall we? Attention, what you're about to read is a chaotic, fourth-wall-breaking peek behind the curtains of a Requiem for Innocence. Runs complete opposition to the tone and frequently ignores characterizations in the main story, and I didn't get to read the last line. I assume it's proceed at your own risk. I guess it's time for the obligatory backstage segment. I'm not really in the mood right now, so let's make this quick. Off to see Michelle, then. Foom! What the? Something just zoomed past me. Jaren, enter stage left. Hey there, Morgs. Haven't seen you in forever. You've gotten real big, huh? You must be getting pretty close to my age by now. But oh boy, that is one mean-looking get-up. Someone got you in a bad mood? It was more than a bad mood that turned me into a witch. What are you even doing here? Is there something wrong with that? You tell me. Look at this background art. Look at me. This is the Cursed Mansion. Details! Wouldn't be much of an extra if we got caught up in silly squabbles like internal consistency. I suppose, but... And if you ask me, you're the one who doesn't belong here, Morgs. What is that supposed to mean? The story this time was from before the mansion went all spoopy and gloomy and creepy crawly. So I say... Yes? Let's blow this joint! What? Hey, stop pulling on my arm! We've landed, Captain. Why here? And why am I so young? Because this is the Morgs we all know and love. Changing what I look like doesn't change what I am. I'm not that foolish little girl anymore. I think it's an adorable combination. Mini cursing Morgs, I'll take a dozen. I'll have you know I'm not for sale. It's impossible to keep my footing around you. Thanks, Morgs, I try. That wasn't a compliment. I almost forgot. There was one other thing I wanted to change, just for the extra. Change what? Scars, go away, come again another day. All healed. Hey, you can't just nursery around my scars away. Do you have any idea how much suffering they've caused me over the years? What's the big deal? If it hurts, isn't it better if it's gone? Plus, I was told anything goes, 'cause this is an extra. I've reached enlightenment. I'm just wasting my energy trying to fight you, it seems. That's the spirit. Embrace the extra and have fun. No one will ever be able to embrace the extra as much as you. Just because I've surrendered doesn't mean I'm magically having fun. You're as hard-headed as ever, Morgs. Well, what can you do? Anyway, time to do some backstage stuff. Let's go talk to people. First up is the main character of A Requiem for Innocence, Jackie. Well, you're going alone. Come on, at least give it a little thought. I've given it centuries of thought, thank you very much. Aw. And here I thought you liked Jackie, Morgs. I despise him. Weird. I remember the two of you being like two peas in a pod. There were a few incidents after you died. to put it lightly. So if you wish to speak with him, you can do so without me. I don't care how much you pull. I'm not going, and that's that. Fine. Thank you. I'll bring Jackie here then. By the power vested within me, I summon you, Jackie! What the? What happened? What? Jaren and Morgana? You've gotten younger. And your face is healed. Hey there, Jackie. Whoa, what's with the duds? You look kinda like the Lord. That's wild. Because I am the Lord. Weird. My Lord was Francois, not you. Well, there were a few incidents after you died. To put it lightly. Huh. Well, either way, this is the Backstage, so I'd rather you be the Jackie I always knew. Excuse me? I cannot simply become someone else. And quit talking so stuffy, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies. The boy I used to be died many years ago. I am no longer a foolish child with his head in the clouds. Geez, you're both stubborn as mules, aren't you? I bet Morgus is super uncomfortable with you in that outfit. So back you go. Fine. Are you happy now? Get in closer. You're hanging halfway off the screen. Just so you don't get any stupid ideas, I'm not going to be nicer just because you changed clothes. Then what was even the point? Come on, guys, you gotta set the place on fire if you keep throwing... You're gonna set the place on fire if you keep throwing around sparks like that. Maybe you'll chill out a bit if the rest of the gang's here. You're not planning on bringing everyone back, are you? You bet I am. Can't have a reunion with some crew without Boss and Beefcake. Wait, slow down. Okay, team, let's get going. Let go of me, damn it. You're coming too, Morgs. I'm perfectly fine here. Full speed ahead. Hey guys, it's been a hot minute. Sure has. Beefy as ever, I see. And you look as dopey as I remember. And hey, you too, boss. Still the hottest girl in town. Thanks. You haven't changed a bit, I see. That said, what's he doing here? No way, you're not happy to see Jackie either? I thought you two were super duper close. You missed a few incidents after you died, girl. Apparently the whole world turned upside down the way everyone's talking about it. Water under the bridge, everyone. This is a behind-the-scenes extra, what the hell that means. So let's have fun with it, like good old times. I like the way you think, Beefcake. Hell yeah. May I say something? Go for it. You tried to assassinate me. If anything, you should be begging for forgiveness. Oh yeah, that did happen, huh? Yes, it happened, and because of it I started seeing ghosts and my console got killed and I just about lost my goddamn mind. What's done is done. Water under the bridge. You can't just erase years of agony with a few words. Beefcake had some beef with Jackie and ended up roast beef. You're a genius. Was that all my suffering was? The punchline to a bad joke? Anyway, that's how we're doing things. Water under the bridge for you two. Boss, let's have some fun. Don't think I'm going to be any nicer just because this is an extra. Morgus is just saying the same thing. I'm kind of surprised they can actually fit all 5 on screen right here. I only got a quick overview of what happened after I died. But I think you, of all people, could have given Jackie a little more benefit of the doubt. What? What he really needed was someone who'd believe in him through thick and thin. Near the end, rather than just listening to Mel, was it? Should have given your old friend Jackie a chance to explain. Did Jaren just say something sensible? Wait, how do you even know about Mel? I intercepted signals from the great beyond. Right, I forgot. Anything goes here. If we're only talking the Requiem time frame, then yeah, maybe you could argue I didn't trust him as much as I could have. But we have a whole nother life under our belts you don't know anything about. I got 2 eras worth of hatred for this bastard. You mean the third door? Once again, how the hell do you know about that? The great beyond. She's far beyond any of our comprehension, at least. The point is, in that life, his family killed my family. That was just his family, though. Jackie didn't have anything to do with that, did he? He made me into his damn maid. To take care of you, right? Jackie isn't a black-hearted villain. You don't have to tell me that. There's just too much I can't brush under the rug. That's sad. It's not every day we get the whole gang back together, so I was hoping we could make it into a nice reunion. I was super excited for this backstage event. Oh, fine, fine. I'll ignore him, but only until this is over. And you quit pining over there like a little bitch. If I'm doing this, you're damn well doing it too. Right. Sorry. I said quit it with the pouty shit. You didn't have any problem acting spirited and other similar extras, so why are you being such a downer this time? Don't you think that's asking a bit much after how Requiem ended? I'm pretty sure I was breaking character in the other ones anyway. But now I'm just normal young Jacopo. Sure was one hell of a story, huh? One hell of a heavy story, huh? That unexpected end with everyone dead. It was hardly a surprise for those of us who know how the main game ended. Everyone could have lived happily ever after if only that attack on the brothel didn't happen. So sad. No kidding. God damn, it wasn't for that. Hold on a sec. You conveniently skipped over the important fact. That it was you who caused the attack in the first place. What? I didn't do anything. You goddamn know you did. You were the Lord's mole. Alright, that. But I think that was what happened. I assume those herbs were just a regular gift. I was just as surprised down in my pants as anyone. She's never had anything inside that head of hers. Anyway, like I said, water under the bridge. The point right now is to have a little fun chat. The pile of crap you're trying to fit under this bridge is a bit too tall. But what do you want to talk about? This backstage thing's for screwing around, yeah? So I say let's have us a drinking contest. I'm not sure I follow your train of logic. You never stop bitching, do you, kid? Jackie is about 80% bitch, after all. Personally, I'm perfectly fine with screwing around for a few hours, but I kinda like if we can all do a quick rundown of what happened in the story together. It could be fun to, like, compare Requiem to the main game's final chapter and point out where they're different. That would be a change of pace, I suppose. Putting the spin in spin-off. That doesn't actually work, you know. Alright, well, get to it. And then be done with it so I can leave. You're no fun, Morgs. I don't want to spend any more time here than necessary. Jackie, you make sure she doesn't go anywhere. And while you're at it, hold her tight and whisper sweet nothings. Do it, and you're deader than dead. I feel like things would proceed much smoother without me. Hey now, don't be such a downer. We're brothers in arms. I'd be real upset if you left. Gratian, for a split second I was almost touched. But I'll still never forgive you for what you did to me. Somebody needs to give you whooshing lessons. It took us all of 10 lines to get off track and back to screwing around. Can we get down to business here? Aye, aye, Captain. Ta-da! On the right, we have the key visual for the main game, and on the left is Requiem, where Jackie is the hero. What was the question mark for? Requiem tells the story of Jackie's younger days, followed by the true version of events from the main game's final chapter. First half was pretty surprising to a lot of people since we only got super duper teensy-weensy look at the part of his life in the main game. There were a lot of new characters too. Well, a whole lot of us did get lumped into our companions over there, yeah. Pretty rude of them not to mention such a memorable, sweet, and adorable girl like myself. You, certainly did leave quite the lasting impression, including how you went out. Why, thank you, Jackie. Someone needs to teach you what a real compliment sounds like. The point is, going into any more detail in the main game would have detracted from the main story at hand, which had a different focus. You mean with Snowy? Snowy. He's all white and cold like snow, so Snowy. You should call him that next time you see him, Jackie. Gotta make sure you always got a friend, or you'll start self-destructing again. He is the last person I want to make friends with. Why? He seems like a good guy. Because Morgana's taken such a goddamn liking to him. Being friends is out of the question. I'd rather you put a bullet between his eyes. Keep your pathetic thoughts under control. I swear my life not a thing went through my head, Morgana. And don't say my name. You'll taint it. And things were going so well between you two. Let me tell you something, and you might want to write it down. All's well that ends well, and all's bad that ends bad. All those dots are making me sort of uncomfortable, so let's move on. Sounds like a plan. Okie dokie. Let's keep this train chugging. One of the real highlights of the first part is getting to see everyone so young and innocent and fumbling around. All the sweet human drama and a rare look at somewhat reasonable version of Jackie. Excuse you? You can't say she's wrong, though. You really went far off the rails after you became the Lord and during the third door. Hell, you were pretty down to earth in your thoughts on that flashback in the third chapter, too. So why did you have to climb up on a fucking ivory tower anytime you talk to anyone else? You're not such a haughty bitch normally. I'm just trying to make sure people don't look down on me. And you're going about it the entirely wrong way. Bitch. Jackie's generally been the starts out as a colossal dickweed. Turns out he's kind of soft-hearted deep down. Wasn't always this bad character. But for Requiem, your arc went in the opposite direction. Tell me something, Jaren. That description's not how you really feel about me, is it? Everything in quotes is straight from the author. Well, that's good to hear, I think. Whatever, continue. Getting to see young Jackie growing up and making friends and doing all sorts of young people stuff is great, but you can't forget about the bits from Morg's perspective. There's nothing worth mentioning about anything from my perspective. I disagree. You were the big, bad, evil, dark Morgs for all of the main game. And even when you told Snowy about your past, it was all ooh and ah. Don't describe it like that. It's confusing and misleading, and no one reading can hear you making spooky sounds as you say it. Well, that's lucky you guys have me here, isn't it? When the person telling is being all blah and bleh, people are going to get a different impression about who you are. Now I'm not even sure what you're trying to say anymore. She has a point, though. It's pretty impressive how differently the story comes off told from your perspective as a 9 to 12-year-old girl. Seeing such a wide range of emotions in you brings tears to my eyes. You're just imagining it. It's perfectly normal to be emotional. You were just a little kid. You'd be just a bit of a hot sourpuss, but otherwise a completely ordinary girl, if that part was all there was to your story. But this little shit had to go and turn you into a witch. And then you went on to hold, what, like a 1,000-year grudge or something? Not totally sure what they're going on about, but it sounds like you're getting the crap kicked out of you, kid. But don't worry, Gratian's here to sweep in to your rescue. So what do you all do anyway? As penance for what I did to you in Requiem, I'll stick up for you no matter how bad you cocked up. I kept Morgana in prison for half a year and killed her. Sorry, ain't no sticking up for that. In addition to that, in his next life, he imprisoned half of my soul. Yep, can't defend that, kid. Sorry. But I know how to fix this. Fix it? That's possible? Hell yeah. Just gotta hook up with a girl who's into that sort of thing. You wanna lock someone up? She wants to be locked up? Everyone wins. Hey, slow down. I didn't imprison anyone because I wanted to. You mean that's not your kink? No, goddammit. Enough of this. Move on. I'm going to be bullied for the rest of eternity if we don't proceed. Aye, aye. As Requiem's first part goes on, we see Morg slowly opening up. She starts off screaming about dirty whores and divine punishment, and eventually she chillaxes into a pretty normal girl. Can't you describe anything normally? Just watching that heart of ice melt is the cutest thing in the world. And it was, of course, Jackie who helped make that possible. Me, Boss, and the other girls spent a lot of time with Morgs, but Jackie was the one who really showed her the most concern for her. At first, he only did it out of pity, and maybe some of what Francois said at the beginning too, so he could pat himself on the back and pretend he did a good deed. But before long, his feelings changed. He started to think of her like family, someone he cared deeply about. And then those feelings change again during the bit with the sunrise. Ah, so young, so sweet. Jackie and Morg sitting in a tree. She doesn't know how the story ends, right? I didn't just imagine us talking about that, did I? But then everyone's happy days came to a sudden, terrible end. Jackie felt completely powerless, helpless to do anything, and it crushed him. This event changed the course of his life forever. Using a ring with the Barnier family crest given to him by a noblewoman, he led the people of the slums into a revolution. But I'm guessing he was driven more by hatred than anything else. Not for the bandits that attacked the brothel, but his own worthless self. And then, revolution time. Yeah, Francois, you kick butt. That's all you care about, isn't it? Oh, you were pretty decent too, Jackie. You make it sound like I'm just a footnote. I'm not kidding. You were pretty impressive. Right off the bat, you killed a guard by throwing a knife at him. That takes skills. And he's got me right in the eyes in the third door. Did he kill a bunch of people then, too? Oh yeah, tons of them. He was a mafioso, after all. Ooh, scary. So as you can see, Jackie's a lot more capable than he seems. He just uses that capability for all the wrong things and ends up ruining everything he touches. You've got looks, money, power, smarts. How are you such a train wreck of a human being? Wouldn't I like to know? He's also really susceptible to being caught off guard. In the third door, while he was distracted with everything going on with his wife, he let himself get shanked by his coachman. And at one of the options near the end of the final chapter, that crazy madman with the sword took your head clean off. You probably could have prevented that if you hadn't let Snowy get under your skin so easily. Hey, you guys, can we stop talking about all the ways I screwed up? Let's move on already. So in case you're wondering about the decapitation thing, there is one of the routes in the main game where you could turn Yukimasa against him being Jacopo. And then when Michelle goes to the tower, he's mistaken for Jacopo, Morgana unleashes her curse, and that's game over. So in order to avoid that bad end, you have to make sure that Yukimasa does not kill Jacopo. The more you know. Well, if you insist. So the first part ends with the revolution a huge success. And the second part, suffering and misery. But before that, it's time for the intermission. Here you get to see me and Francois together. I definitely wasn't expecting that monster to take the spotlight at any point. He had a lot going on himself. That doesn't make him any less of a twisted murderer. Francois definitely loves his dread and despair. He reminds me of a certain beast. That certain beast is a bit more direct with his violence, though. I have to say, it completely knocked my socks off when we found out it was him you had a thing for. I totally thought you were just thrown into the game so Jacopo could build a harem. Either that or someone just there to, I don't know, help awaken him to his interest in girls before he went after the main heroine? If that was all the author was going to use, such a disgustingly adorable little girl like me, I'd place the big dummy curse on him. What an unthreatening curse. That threw me for a damn loop, too. The official site even sticking that bit in about how a certain someone has caught her eye had me convinced it was Jacopo. Yeah, the official site's character profiles are always a bit misleading. Like for the main game, Boss's profile said she was the white-haired girl's only ally, which turned out to be a huge lie. Hopefully no one tries to nail them for false advertising. You know, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like you're really just fucking pathetic, Jacopo. Shut your damn mouth, I know I am. And on the second part, from here we start getting closer and closer to the main game's final chapter. But Jackie's still mostly reasonable at the beginning. He tries his best to be a better lord in Governor's Land. And as a side note, one of the traits listed on your character outline is hard-working. Here you work your butt off to improve the city. In the third chapter you work your butt off to improve business. But you're super bad at picking allies, so you end up not trusting anyone, unable to open up, unable to tell who's on your side and who isn't, and eventually destroying yourself for it. And to top it off, you don't like people looking down on you, so you do everything in your power to be a huge jerk. Pathetic. I want to disappear. And as he gets deeper and deeper into the politics of running a city, Jackie's perspective and priorities start changing. But what really pushes him over the edge is Beefcake's beef with him. Sorry for screwing things up for you, kid. wipe that shit-eating grin off your face. And it's all downhill from there. His console dies, and he's stuck seeing the ghost of Francois and all sorts of other dangerous people who didn't show up as more than footnotes, trying to do all sorts of terrible things to him. And before long, Jackie's a broken mess. I feel much the same now. Oh, and for the record, Francois' ghost was an actual ghost. It was Jackie's hallucination. Snowy had some ghost troubles in the main game too, but that was a real-deal ghost. Well, yes, it was me. I would have much preferred to have Morgana tormenting me than Barney hovering around trying to undermine everything. Seriously, dude, keep your masochistic fantasies to yourself. Would everyone stop trying to read my goddamn mind? So little by little, the old Jackie disappears and he turns into a bad, bad guy. That's one of the most pitiful That's one of the most painful parts of the story, watching someone put in an honest, solid effort to improve things, only to end up being corrupted. Like I was saying earlier, Jackie really needed someone he could trust in his life. Would have been nicer if he could have found someone else after Old Lone died. Almost said his name correctly there. His name is Orlan. I know, it was a pun of old and lone. You can't just smash two words together and call it a pun. What you should have done is made me your counsel from the get-go. I would have never been able to get anything done, and would have only enabled you to go to my head quicker. Have a little faith in me, kid. You were always really aggressively competitive with Jackie. If anyone, I think you should have been boss as his consul. That was my plan. That's the whole reason I was learning to read. I had no idea. Never ended up being any use, of course. I think if you're going to go see him, boss, you should have done so a lot sooner than you did. Excuse me? It would have been better if you crashed in shouting, "What the hell are you doing, Jacopo?" and then the day he put Beefcake's head out on a spike. You probably would have still been able to get through to him then. Of course, you're plenty at fault here too, Jackie. You need to learn to be more open. But that doesn't let you off for not dragging it out of him either, boss. I can't believe she's got Maria with her back to the wall. You seem sharper than usual here in the backstage, Jaren. I thought you were supposed to be an airhead. I flipped on my super smart switch for the occasion. Super smart is clearly an exaggeration, but I can't deny you're much more clever than you were in Requiem. The author tweaked me a bit because we wouldn't get anywhere otherwise. I can see the fourth wall crumbling. Hasn't it always been my job to ruin these things anyway? Why did you end up with it this time? Because if you were in charge, you'd skip all over this and go straight to see Snowy. Proceed. Aye aye. So once Jackie's gone off the rails, he starts getting cruel and merciless. He tears down farms and works slaves to death, and overall everyone kind of starts hating his guts. He did the same sort of shit in the third door too. Put a factory out of business, made a whole lot of fans for it. There's no such thing as a world where everyone can be happy. That may be true in general, but in your case, you're just being a fucking shitheel. And then we get to the big turning point. Him locking Morgs up in the tower. About that, Morgana, the only whooshing I'll be doing is sending your soul straight to hell. What? Your soul straight to hell. This is the one screw-up you can't really talk yourself out of. Though it's at least more understandable than how it was presented in the main game, I think. That was a super short version of it, so you didn't get to see much of how he painted himself into a corner. But here, that was the focus. And then we switch over to Morg's perspective. Probably the most important part of getting Morg's perspective is that scene where she finally throws off her mask and reveals her true feelings. Yeah, that. I can't believe you felt so strongly. You didn't even hint at it when we were together. But then you just went out and said, "Will you stay with me?" That was a dream sequence, you oaf. It what? I was a child and my mind was running wild. There was nothing to it. You can't just brush it all under the rug like that. It's too important of a moment. But I know the truth. You don't actually hate me. I don't completely revile the slave man. But but I will always detest you, the Lord. Now, can you imagine my utter dismay upon learning the two were the same? I'm sorry. Man, you're getting roasted from every direction for this Backstage, Jackie. Considering how badly I screwed everyone over, is that a surprise? So back to the story. While she goes all sappy once, Morgus ends up hardening back as she spends more time alone. This wasn't mentioned explicitly in the game, but apparently one of Old Lone's men actually stopped by her little lakeside cottage once. What? But since Morgus didn't open the door to anyone who wasn't there for her leafy greens, she ended up chasing him off. I believe the exact phrasing was, and I quote, "I sent away anyone who wasn't here for medicine." That's what that line was there for. Exactly how many opportunities were missed? Things might have gone differently had she opened the door. Morgus makes her way to the Lord's Manor, where Jackie's waiting, they have a heartwarming reunion, and then she becomes his consul and transforms the city into a theonomy. It becomes a new Holy Land, for which a new wave of crusades begins. Exciting stuff! You realize the crusades began almost a century after we all died, right? So right there you get a date where you can get a time frame for the game. Anyway, I would have made her into my consul if I had found her. If anything, my bride. I will murder you with my own two hands. For the love of God, stop reading my mind. While she's all holed up, a flaxen-haired young man pays Morg a visit. The boy formerly known as Mel. What's he known as now? The boy formerly known as Mel managed to get through Morg's shell briefly, the reason for which is a lot clearer in Requiem. But of everyone and everything from her old life, it was the slave man she could ultimately never forget. I did forget his name and what he looked like, though. Maybe things could have turned out differently if you hadn't. Remembering you wouldn't have made you any less of a monster, thank you very much. Yeah, it's more like you locked that information away than actually forgot it. I bet you remembered it just fine if you'd reunited in better circumstances. But what a crazy bonkers reunion that turned out to be. Everyone who played the main game already knew about that, though. The scene where Morgus confuses Jackie for Francois is clear here, too, I think. Snowy did mention how Morgus wasn't quite in her right mind, but it packs a lot more punch actually seeing it from her perspective. Yucky, cutting off her arm definitely messed her up pretty bad. That's the least fitting name yet. So Yucky is Yukimasa? Would you please stop coming up with increasingly convoluted nicknames for people? Just call that infernal creature Beastia like everyone else and be done with it. Alright, Beastie it is. Or should I say Bestie? We'll go with Bestie. Alright, Bestie it is. That's even worse. So the two of them are finally reunited and it's very tragic. Jackie is torn. He wants to set her free, but he can't. And the reason for that is, again, much clearer in Requiem. Clearer, but still far from convincing. This is also about the point where he figures out that Francois' ghost is actually a delusion, all in his own mind. I refuse to believe he wasn't real, though. Getting a little off topic here, but in the third door we see Jackie has a real beef with anything supernatural or not provable by science, and this is where that came from. Not just the ghost, but the miracle blow is a huge part of that too. It left a mark on his soul that never went away. Here I thought he was just a wimp who couldn't handle ghost stories. That's true too. I'm not surprised. So Jackie ends up lying to himself about what he really wants and keeps Morg locked up in the tower. So that really isn't your kink. That's the first thing you say after not talking for God knows how long. Didn't really seem appropriate for me to butt into this part. How many times do I gotta tell you, I'm gonna show you the world, and then all you showed her was the big old brick wall. You don't have to remind me. I feel bad enough about it already. Yakubo I knew wasn't the kind of man to do that to a girl. It's kind of depressing that even an upstanding guy like you can fall so far. Yep, while love was one of the big themes of the main game, friendship and companionship were more the focus in Requiem. And all the different ways it can break apart. It's enough to make me want to cry. I thought you were incapable of feeling sadness. I understand loneliness. I can cry about that. If you say so. Going a bit out of order, but speaking of friendship, Maria had that real killer bit where she was talking about how everyone was gone and they weren't going to come back and all that. Yeah, that stung like hell. My friends mean more than anything else in the world to me. Got super heavy in here real fast, huh? Moving right along. This is doing numbers up my throat, man. Next up, boss tries to confront Jackie. Here's where things start diverging from what was in the main game. We've seen in Requiem's what actually happened, and the main game is more like a simulation with Snowy thrown in, so things go off course real quickly. On Snowy's very first day, he managed to convince the boy formerly known as Mel to work with him. Why do you keep calling him that? I feel like it. Now, because the boy formerly known as Mel switches teams that night, he and Nellie are on the mansion's grounds. Boss comes to look around, sees two strange shadows, and decides to push it to the next day. And when she comes back, she bumps into Snowy. So in the main game, she never ends up meeting with Jackie. But in reality, Snowy wasn't there, so the boy formerly known as Mel isn't wandering around again in Boss's way, so she's able to recon without any trouble. And the next day, she brings the necklace and a knife and breaks in. She goes all out trying to kill Jackie, but he stops her, breaks her arm, and then has Yucky throw her out. No mercy. That was me showing mercy, you realize. Normally, an attempt on the Lord's life would be punishable by death. I used the harvest festival as an excuse to stop from killing her. Yucky was really raring for some blood. And the way he just asked, should I kill so-and-so, is hilarious. Not so funny the so-and-so he's salivating over. So when all that's happened Jackie sees the necklace, he starts reminiscing about old times and then has a crazy idea. He decides to impersonate his old self, pretending to be the slave man who once saved from the Lord, who he is now. Talk about super bonkers. I was completely out of my mind at that point, yes. Now you're gonna try and talk yourself out of that one? How could I? In the main game, Jackie doesn't go up to the tower alone with Morgus, so he never gets a good look at her condition. It isn't until they all go up as a group that Snowy points out what bad shape she's in. But in Requiem, he does go up alone, which is how he realizes. He confesses his true feelings, but Morgus is so broken it can't even get through to her soul. So she doesn't hear anything he says. Once Jackie finally comes to his senses, he's finally freed from his shackles. It's really sad it can only happen that way, though. But with that off him, he starts treating people around him a little nicer, like the old Jackie. But it was too little too late, and Morgus dies. This leads to a big panic which Jackie watches from the observation tower. And the rest goes the same in both games. As a side note, Snowy really needed to get into Jackie's memories to flip the table on Morgus' perception. But he kept those memories locked up so super tight, especially everything related to his younger days, that it wouldn't have worked if they'd gone straight to him. Plus, Jackie's soul was crazed like a rabid dog, so he wouldn't have listened to Snowy from the beginning. And also, ignoring Yucky and the boy formerly known as Mel would have left their souls in pretty bad shape too. Which is why the main game had to go the way it did. We only got the abridged version of Jackie's past in the main game, but you should think of it as more proof of how tight he kept it locked up. And while I'm at it, I'd like to elaborate a bit on the curse too. At his death in Requiem, Jackie realized what he really wanted in life and feels super bad about how much he messed up. But then Morgus is all, from now on, only money and power will be your friends, and puts a curse on his soul. Excuse me, I would rather die than use a tilde in my speech. Which is why, even after figuring it out once, he ends up making the same mistakes and dies all sad and alone again. Kinda tragic, huh? Curse or not, he's still a fucking dick. It wasn't Morgana's curse that drove him to constantly insult and belittle his wife. But you did push me in that direction, as I recall. That's true. The third door started in a similar place to Jackie's fall into darkness as the Lord. And being a mafioso, he's probably been worn down a bunch from all the betrayals and crazy mafia stuff that happened outside the story. There's only one way to fix this, I think. Make Jackie live a quiet life out in the sticks. And that is for Jaren's Review Corner. Even though how it turned out, that was still pretty damn heavy. Jackie ends up destroying the things he cares most about with his own hands. It's pretty dang grim, yeah. Now that I think about it, you did kill damn near everyone who had a sprite, didn't you? And if you count breaking Maria's arm as resulting in her death, that makes pretty much the whole gang. That's impressive, kid. You went on a frickin' massacre. Please, that's enough. If you include minor characters and no-names, Francois and Jackie would be neck and neck with them for the gold medal. But Jackie definitely had the most story-relevant kills. Jackie the Ripper. For the love of all that is holy, don't call me that. He went to go hide in the corner. I think the 1-2 punch being compared to a serial killer and seeing that smile would bring down just about anybody. I thought it was pretty funny. Of course you did. You don't comprehend negative emotions. Now, everyone may have died in Requiem, most of them because of Jackie, but this is the Backstage extra. Whoosh, everything under the bridge. And what are you planning to do now that you've tossed the entire game into the water? How about we go over the characters next? The characters? Yep, for example. This is what I look like. I'm sure everyone's picked up on this already. But according to my outline, I was missing all my screws right off the bat. And that's why you're always so cheerful. Not because you're optimistic, but because you're mad. Some part of my brain just never turned on, I guess. So not only are you airheaded, even that air is worthless. Also, I have a dull sense of pain. You'd kinda have to make it through a child like that. Didn't come off as bad, but it really was. It didn't come off as bad as it really was, because it was colored by you being eternally happy-go-lucky. But thinking back on it, that was some real dark shit, especially that whole bit where you were 5. Seemed pretty normal to me. The world is bad enough without everyone having to go through that. Okay, next up, Beefcake. And here's my full bod. What do you think? Looking pretty tough, don't I? Beefcake's profile describes him as a wild animal with an unbeatable competitive streak. He's an act first, think never kind of guy, and the second biggest doofus in the cast, only after me. Hey now, that's just mean. I mean, I hate planning everything out, yeah, but still. He's like a giant huggable gorilla / big brother figure who tries to fix everything by punching it. Which is one reason him trying to poison Jackie stood out so much. He was so upset it caused him to resort to real underhanded methods. Hey, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm way stronger than he ever was. I bet most readers didn't have a very good impression of you with the way you went out either. You think so? That's kinda a downer. Alright, whoosh it under the bridge, guys. Whoosh. I'm not enough of an idiot to keep up with these two. But you know, maybe some readers saw what you did coming, Beefcake. There was a line in the main game that went like, I invited an old companion to my manor to discuss things, but the mean only turned into an attempt on my life. If someone had a really good memory, they could have maybe made that connection and guess what you'd end up doing. Guess you got that kinda right. I didn't leave on the best note, and my duty old Jacopo was real shitty. I was cocky and told myself I was better than him in every way. But at the same time, I wanted to be, you know, there with him. Maybe I wouldn't have made a good consul, but there are other things I could have done. Like head of your guard or something. I had to come running to be your right-hand man if you just sent for me. You were lonely down there in the slums all by yourself, weren't you? No. I'd say I was more disappointed than anything. I was ready to help with anything, and I wish he'd used me. I feel you. Nobody was on the same page for most of the game. I still don't think that justifies trying to kill him. Whoosh. Whoosh. Alrighty, next up is you, Morgs. You can skip me. Nope, you're going to. Like, if her body doesn't change, why are they showing the whole body? So there's a full view of Morgs. This is when she was still itty-bitty and her clothes were way too big. Adorable, huh? Make a few poses for them. Absolutely not. Blah. Also, 2-year-old Morgus is actually shorter than Ellie. But if she was shown at her actual height, the text box would almost cover her all the way. So her sprites were bumped up a bit. And she's not the only one who's not shown to scale either. Boss is only 160 centimeters tall, but she's placed real high up on the screen too. Just pretend she's wearing some wicked heels. Everyone's sprites are positioned so you have a rough idea of their relatives' heights, so don't take it as true to life. May I be excused? I was hoping you'd give a comment first. I have nothing to say. Okie dokie, you're up next, Jackie. Oh, Jackie. Huh? He's over in the corner making a He's over in the corner making a face like it's death CG. Oh, you, Jackie. Hey, Morg said she has something super important to tell you. I beg your pardon? What is it? I'm all ears. That took less than 2 seconds. I have nothing to say to you. Go back to your corner and die again. Stop, stop, stop! It's your turn to show your full body sprite, Jackie. So perk up and make yourself presentable. I said perk up, not wherever the heck that is. May I be excused? Oh, not you too. Why can't you go back to the tough-spirited Jackie from the first half? You were super duper impressive in your fight against Francois. You think so? That was certainly your peak at least. And it was all downhill from there. Oh. Morgs, I was just getting back in the spirit. We talked a bunch about what kind of character Jackie is already. He's just as inadequate as he looks. I am not inadequate. Jackie's got 2 modes, his softer, more approachable mode, and his all business, no fun allowed mode. It's the latter we're almost familiar with. It's not till you've seen things from his perspective that you realize there's more there. From the outside, Jackie just looks like a huge monster. Especially all the ways you killed Snowy in the main game. Talk about ruthless. It was the man with the sword who did most of the killing, as I recall. You did shoot him, and you ordered him killed several times. Maybe that'll teach him to toughen up if he wants to be pro-tag material. How can he call himself the hero if he doesn't know how to wield a sword? He's got the vitality of a housefly, and a little sunlight's enough to knock him out. How much more pathetic can you get? He's a pacifist, like Gandhi. Except for that time he attacked me with a goddamn whiskey bottle. You can't complain about something that happened in a game that was never translated into English. You'll just confuse the readers. The point is, Snowy's the total opposite of you. Plus, he's actually somewhere in between boy and girl, so you shouldn't go trying to apply your fragile masculinity to him. I assume that's him cursing. Whoa, I broke Jackie. You didn't have to reveal it as a secret. Why on earth does she know that anyway? Don't joke about that sort of thing, it's not funny. What? But it's true. What the hell does that make him? Can anyone think of anything else about Jackie we haven't mentioned? He's got a lot more skilled. He's a lot more skilled with his hands than you think. Oh yeah, that's right. He can even play the lute. Oh, the part where he jacked one from the guy off the street. That fucking slayed me. He's not a half-bad singer either, but you never guessed from looking at him. That's not something that was added from Requiem either. Came up in the main game too. Remember the flashback in the third door where we were singing together? There was also a short story somewhere where you're humming to yourself. Even the worst Italian ever born is still an Italian at heart. I guarantee you I'm far from the worst. But music-y stuff is something you stop doing once you go no fun mode allowed. It gets tossed along with everything else about your younger self. It's too bad you couldn't have kept even one sympathetic trait. If you look closely at the background graphic of Lord's bedroom, there's a lute in it too, though. Maybe he did keep playing. By himself. How lonely. That's pretty sad. Fittingly pathetic. Should have said nothing. I'll take every last one of you out back. And that about covers Jackie. You're up next, boss. Huh? How come I didn't show my legs like everyone else? You don't have a full body sprite, boss. What? Why the hell do I keep getting the short end of the stick? Sorry, boss. Staff were kind of fumbling around in the dark as they made the game, so it wasn't until Requiem that sprites were given legs. But because of that, it offered a lot more possibilities for animations and stuff. So hopefully you'll give them a break. They're still learning. Alright, fine. Everyone just imagine Boss's beautiful legs. Make them sexy as hell. So the third door you came off super scary the way you portrayed Jackie. But in the final one, you were more of a tough, reliable big sister. And Requiem focused even more about how much you care about your friends. That's always been who I am. My friends, my family means more than anything to me. Revenge for what the Birzadis did to my family was what pushed me to go so far in the third door. But God, that damn attack on the brothel in Requiem really did ruin everything. If that hadn't happened, Morgana wouldn't have been taken. Jacopo wouldn't have gotten that dumb idea into his head, and we all could have just stayed together. Yep, it really all comes back to that. Sharon, I'm possessed with a desire to grab you by both cheeks, pull on them as hard as I can, and give you an earful about how you don't have any goddamn right to talk about that event with any words except, I'm sorry. Aggressive much, Jackie? One of these days, pow, zoom, straight to the moon. Although the main game did end with me and Jacopo not on the best of terms, so it's nice that people got to see us enjoying ourselves in Requiem. I suppose so. Okie dokie, so that covers the main 5 of us from the slums. Next up is Jackie's favorite console. Odilon's going to be here? I don't know how I can face him, after how we parted ways. Hey, Jaren, do you think you could wait to do his, old loan? Hey, damn it, let me... 'Tis been much too long. I must confess, I was not expecting to be summoned here. Wasn't expecting him either, otherwise I looked up how I did his voice. Hey, nice to see you. Oh well, why such a guilty look on your face, my boy? Did you do something you would be ashamed to admit to me? 'Twas but a simple lark. Hold your head high, my lord. I bear much of the blame myself for leaving you behind so early in your growth. You're not to blame for any of my mistakes. 'Twas my sworn duty to teach and guide you for the length of your rule. I should have chased that scoundrel out despite your objections. Perhaps even poisoned him myself. Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, get a little feisty there. Silence, peasant. You were the one who made an attempt on his life. I mean, you got a point, but... Hey, you're forgetting to whoosh everything under the bridge. Now's the time to have fun. You know, Jacopo, it strikes me. Yes? You're not a total shit heap when you got someone to keep you in line. Like I said, Jackie just needs a friend. A friend would help, sure, but he really needs someone to kick him in the ass every time he tries to steer the train off a fucking cliff. That metaphor doesn't even make sense. Don't try to deflect from the point, asshole. His heart is in the right place, at least. Nevertheless, I only knew him for a short spell, and he was very much a hard-working man during that time, so my impression of him is mostly positive. We should show this old man what a bastard he was during the third door. I don't think I've ever heard Morgana swear before. And what did he do in this third door? He constantly insulted and belittled his wife until he broke her. My lord, you must show care and respect for your family. Yeah, you're absolutely 110% correct. I regret everything I did. And I spent decades living with that regret. The reason you turned out that way must be because you had no one in this third door to guide you down the correct path. And with no one to open up to, you had to wear your mask in perpetuity, all the negativity festering inside until you were permanently corrupt. Odilon. Ergo, I shall reincarnate in this third door, and ensure that does not happen. You'll what? I will stand by the Lord's side and make sure he does not stray from the path even a single step. Slow down, stop. You're going to destroy the main game's whole story. And good riddance. Please stay away from it. Jaren, hurry up and show the old man Sprite so we can get rid of him. He's going to undermine the entire story. I think it'd be fun to see what he does. No, it wouldn't. Not at the slightest. My curse will have all been for nothing. Farewell, you may regard my old weary frame. So he has legs, but Maria does not. And with that, I shall take my leave. You're not going to stay for longer? The console is supposed to operate from behind the scenes. I'm happy to be given the opportunity to briefly appear. If you say so. Be well, my lord. And may happiness find you in your next life. Thanks. And you too. Farewell. Until we meet again. Alright, that leaves one last character with a full-body sprite. Let's bring him... Whoa, slow down. I know exactly who you're talking about. You are not bringing that man here, are you? Why wouldn't I? This is supposed to be a fun event, with everyone whooshing everything under the bridge. That tyrant has a very different definition of fun than the rest of us. Francois! Damn it, you actually... You summoned me. Go right back wherever the hell you came from. It would appear I've stumbled upon a swarm of filthy maggots. Where's the bug spray, Jared? I need you to clean up this mess. Francois, bug spray hasn't been invented yet. Oh, how unfortunate. There's so much wrong with this, I don't even know where to begin. Okie dokie, could you stand right there and give me your best smile, Francois? But of course, how could I not grant the wish of my most prized possession? That is not a smile. Feast your unworthy mortal eyes upon the noble body of the great Jean-Francois Barnier. My blood is genuine, unlike a certain impostor. You're giving me goosebumps. If the real reason Olan ran off is because he didn't want to run into Barnier. That has to be it. I can't think of any other reason. Francois was the villain for the first half, but by the end I think he seemed like a pretty decent guy. What's everyone else think? I cannot disagree with you more. The mere sight of that man's face makes me want to vomit. Not to mention, he was the one I wanted to curse most. Sure, he did a bunch of really bad things, but he did say a couple super good things. Plus, he fought all real valiant and brave at the end. He's an inspiration. The Lord could hardly carry out his duties if he cowered in fear at the sight of a couple of peasants. Just because what he's saying sounds reasonable doesn't mean you can forget he's a crazed mass murderer. You would call a man entertaining himself with his private property morally objectionable? Understatement of the century. If this wasn't a damn extra, I'd lop your head off right here. Like so. Child's play. Don't just pull up that damn graphic without any warning, you're going to give me a heart attack. My soul left my body for a moment. You can act like you went out in a blaze of glory, but don't forget you were begging for your life at the end. That hardly counts as begging. In what universe is... Oh no, please don't kill me. Not count as begging for your life. One must be crying and clawing their attacker, wailing for mercy through a fit of pathetic sobs in order to properly count as begging for their life. I did none of that. Yet that was precisely the wording used in the main game. I would like to have a word with the author. The main game was just the short version, so cut him some slack. Your character wasn't fully established at that point. Do not coddle them. In reality, my character was no more than a vague concept when it was written. Christ, he's attacking the author now? He did kind of come off like a third-rate villain in the main game, yeah. Just saying that, I didn't expect you to be developed the way you were in Requiem. Francois needed to have a real firm driving force behind him, even as a big baddie, or else he'd fall flat in the final confrontation against Jackie. Plus, he had the super important responsibility of getting into Jackie's head after he was dead. So he needed to be big and imposing, or he couldn't do that. Makes sense. on a slightly different subject, I just remembered the whole deal with you having your eye on someone back in the first part. Yeah? Well, to start, this is what you said at the Midsummer Festival. He's got trouble expressing his feelings. Kinda looks angry a lot of the time. He can be pretty haughty. But I think he's a pretty great guy, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep, that was me. Tell me, Jaren, in what way does that man have trouble expressing his feelings? You don't think he does? The whole reason he had to kill his family is because he couldn't talk to them about what he was feeling. Those are not the same kinds of feelings we're talking about. No? Whatever. Moving on. He looks kind of angry a lot of the timeline. Kinda doesn't begin to describe it. It's a perfect fit in my mind. I refuse to believe that. Moving on. The other two I can sort of buy at least. He can be pretty haughty, and I think he's a pretty great guy. So you two were a thing. You betcha. We most certainly were not. What? Francois, you don't need to be shy just because there are other people around. You seem to be confused, Jaren. I did say that you were the second most important thing in the world to me after myself. But I never said I meant so romantically. What does that make me, then? My pet. Your pet? Surely, even you will feel something about that. I'm more than happy to be your pet. I get food, a bed, and lots of attention. It's perfect. You never let me down, Jaren. Very well then. Run in a circle and bark for me. I can't deal with this. In any other backstage event, it would be the embodiment of fragile masculinity over there making all the ruckus. But it would seem the two of them have somehow managed to outclass him. Jaren, this covers all the characters, right? We're all done here now. Because I'd like to be on my way. Do you really want to not spend any more time with little me, Morgs? It has nothing to do with spending time with you specifically. But there are too many here who would like out of my presence as soon as humanly possible. Morgana, please tell me I'm wrong here. And you're not putting me in the same category as him. It gingerly hurts being lumped in with that monster. I feel like I've been kicked in the gut. So if you don't mind, I'll be taking my leave now. And going where? To see Michel, obviously. Every single time. Why is it always Michel with you? Because he's the one who ultimately led me to salvation. You know, that doesn't nullify everything we had between us. No, you did a perfectly good job of that all by yourself. Now, so long, everyone. Wait. Jackie, this is the time for you to go after her. You locked up both Morgs and half her soul. A little stalking should be a piece of cake for you. That just makes it sound like I'm some sort of deviant. Damn it, I was going to go after her anyway. I won't just sit here with my thumbs up my ass while she goes to see him. Break a leg. And not hers. I'm gonna tag along too. Sounds like fun. What? You leave me alone with the two of them?